Hello, folks, and welcome to Modern World Dynamics, where we explore the fascinating intricacies of life. We're all about diving deep into the human condition, and today, we've got a real humdinger on the agenda. We're going to be navigating the tricky waters of relationships, specifically focusing on the age-old question, how to get your ex back. Now, before you go thinking we're all about reigniting old flames willy-nilly, let's set the record straight. We're not just talking about the how, but we're also going to weigh the pros and cons. Because let's face it, sometimes the past is best left in the past. But other times, it might be worth revisiting. So, buckle up and get ready for a rollercoaster ride of emotions, some sage advice, a dash of humor, and a whole lot of real talk. Today we're diving into a topic many of us have faced, how to get your ex back, and the pros and cons of this venture. Have you ever found yourself longing for a past relationship, wondering if you could rekindle that old flame? Well, you're not alone. We've all been there, haven't we? Those late-night thoughts, the what-ifs, the could-have-beens. It's natural to yearn for something that once brought us joy, comfort, and companionship. Take, for instance, our friends. Let's call them Jack and Jill. They were the quintessential couple, always together, always laughing. They had their fair share of ups and downs, but they always managed to find their way back to each other. Until one day, they didn't. A petty argument about who left the dishes in the sink escalated into a full-blown fight, and before they knew it, they had called it quits. Fast forward a few months, and Jack is staring at his phone, Jill's number highlighted on the screen. He misses her laugh, her wit, the way she always knew how to make him smile. He's wondering if he should call her, if they should give their love another shot. Why does Jack want to rekindle the old flame? Is it because he truly believes they're meant to be? Or is it because he's afraid of being alone? Or perhaps it's the comfort of familiarity. You see, we humans are creatures of habit. We crave routine, familiarity, and when that's taken away from us, we often find ourselves wanting to go back to what we know, even if it's not necessarily the best for us. We also tend to romanticize the past, don't we? We look back at our old relationships with rose-tinted glasses, forgetting the reasons why we broke up in the first place. We remember the good times, the laughter, the shared memories, and conveniently forget the fights, the tears, the heartbreak. It's a common situation, but is it really a good idea? Let's explore. Scene script. Sometimes going back to an old relationship can be like putting on a comfortable old sweater. It's familiar, and it feels right. Let's delve into the potential benefits of rekindling an old flame, shall we? Picture this. You've both grown, learned some life lessons, and you're not the same people you were when you parted ways. This time around, you're armed with the knowledge of what went wrong and how you can avoid those pitfalls. Sounds pretty good, eh? Now, one of the significant advantages of getting back with an ex is that shared history. You've got years of shared experiences, inside jokes, and memories. You know each other's families, friends, and favorite takeaways. That's not something you can build overnight with someone new. Another plus point is familiarity. You know each other's quirks, habits, and pet peeves. You've seen each other at your best and worst. There are no surprises. You know what you're getting into, and there's a certain comfort in that. And let's not forget the potential for growth. You've seen where things went wrong the first time around. Now you have a chance to fix them. A chance to say, hey, we messed up, but we've learned from it and we're going to do better. There's a certain beauty in that, isn't there? Now let me tell you a little story about a couple who successfully reunited. Let's call them Jack and Jill. They had their share of issues and decided to call it quits. But after a few years apart, they found themselves crossing paths again. They'd both grown, learned from their mistakes, and decided to give it another go. And you know what? They're happier now than they've ever been. They took their past, learned from it, and used it to build a stronger relationship. Now, that's not to say that every old relationship is worth reigniting. Much like our sweater analogy, some relationships are like that old, itchy, moth-eaten jumper that's better off in the bin. But remember, not all old sweaters are worth wearing again. Let's look at the flip side. On the other hand, getting back with an ex can be like stepping into a bear trap you already knew was there. It's like watching a horror movie where you shout at the screen, "Don't go in there," and yet the character goes in anyway. Now, let's not beat around the bush. We're talking about the potential pitfalls and drawbacks of reuniting with an ex. Picture this, you're back together, The honeymoon phase is in full swing. Everything seems rosy. But soon, the rose-tinted glasses come off, and you're back to square one, repeating the same old patterns. It's like a broken record, playing the same song of arguments, misunderstandings, and disappointments over and over again. And then, there are unresolved issues. The very issues that led to your split in the first place. If these issues haven't been addressed, they can come back to haunt your relationship, like a ghost refusing to rest. It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. No matter how beautiful the house, it's bound to collapse under pressure. Let's consider the story of Bella and Edward. No, not the vampires, just a regular couple. They broke up due to constant bickering and jealousy. After a few months apart, they decided to give it another shot. Unfortunately, the same issues cropped up again. Their relationship became a toxic cycle of fights and makeups, draining them emotionally. It's like they were stuck in a never-ending loop of Groundhog Day, but without Bill Murray to lighten the mood. We mustn't forget the emotional baggage. It's like lugging around a suitcase filled with past hurts, resentments, and regrets. It's heavy and tiring, and let's be honest, it's not exactly carry-on material, so the question isn't just can you get your ex back, but should you? It's crucial to weigh the pros and cons, to look before you leap, because sometimes getting back together can feel like a romantic sequel. But remember, not all sequels are The Godfather Part 2. Some are more Jaws, The Revenge. Navigating the world of relationships is never easy, especially when it comes to past loves. As we've explored today, there are both pros and cons to consider when thinking about rekindling a romance with an ex. The allure of familiar comforts and shared history can be quite enticing, but it's also crucial to remember the reasons why the relationship ended in the first place. It's not a decision to be made lightly, and it's essential to weigh all the factors and consider your own well-being first and foremost. We hope this video has given you some food for thought and made the process a little less daunting. In the end, it's your journey, and only you can decide the best path forward. And if you're enjoying these discussions and insights, we've got plenty more where that came from. So, hit that subscribe button and keep up to date with all things modern world dynamics. Thanks for joining us on this journey today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more from Modern World Dynamics. Until next time, keep navigating the dynamics of your world.